Hi, today we will discuss a very interesting topic, that is how to get up from the mat. So there are various different positions that your students are when they are sitting on the mat, sometimes in Sukhasana, Vajrasana, maybe in a tabletop, supine or a prone position. Now from those positions, how can you ask your students to come into a standing position? Now you can just ask them simply to just get up and stand. That's perfectly fine. But then if you make it interesting and in a flow, it gives a continuity to your practice, and it also gives a little bit of challenge to your students, and definitely it makes it interesting. So let's learn the different ways of getting up from the mat. First way is from a Sukhasana position. So if your students are in a Sukhasana position, sitting here in a cross leg position, ask them to cross their legs in front, arms extended, shift their weight on their feet, lifting their hips up, and then stand up from the mat. Now if this is challenging for your students, you can ask them to sit on a yoga block or a cushion, and from there they can get up from the mat. The second way is from a Vajrasana position. Now if your students are sitting in a Vajrasana position, ask them to tuck their toes and lift their knees off the mat. Once they are here, keeping their spine straight, they can just try lifting their hips, straightening their legs, and coming into a standing position. The third way, if your students are in a tabletop position. Now from a tabletop position, just ask your students to tuck their toes, lift their knees off the mat, and straighten their legs. Now from here, they can walk, coming closer to their hands. Once they reach here, then ask them to bring their palms to their waist, and hinging from their hips, slowly come back up. The fourth way, which is from a prone position. So if your students are lying down in a prone position, you can ask them to lift their chest, coming into a bhujang, tucking their toes, lifting their hips, coming into a plank. Now from here, ask them to bring their right foot outside their right hand, left foot outside their left hand, coming into a squat. And from here, lift their hips up, straighten their legs, bring their palms to their waist, and hinging from their hips, slowly come back up. The last way is from a supine position. Now if your students are lying down in a supine position, you can ask them to hug their knees. Once they are here, ask them to gently start rolling on their spine. Now once they gain some momentum here, ask them to gently sit up. Once they are here, again, ask them to cross their legs, arms parallel, lifting their hips up, and they can stand. So these are the different ways in which you can ask your students to transition from a sitting or a lying down position into a standing position. Do include it in your classes. Your students will be happy to have a little bit of challenge and a flow and a continuity in their practice. And as I always say, teach with patience in your mind and a smile on your face. It goes a long way. Happy teaching.